Welcome to the Ultimate Insurance Agency Podcast, Planet of the Agents. Planet of the Agents, where we give you the...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Planet of the Agents. I am your host, Dave Baker. Thanks for joining me once again on another exhilarating episode where we're going to talk all about the world of property and casualty insurance, being an independent agent, what's going on in the market, and all kinds of fun things. Now, I try to give practical information that you might be able to apply based on my own experience. Of course, it's for educational purposes only, and it's up to you how you use it and where things go from there. So, let's dive into today's topic. But before I do that, make sure that wherever you're listening, whether it's on a podcast or on YouTube or on some platform that is unique, make sure that you are subscribed to the show. Make sure that you are clicking that little notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I put out a new video all about insurance. Oh, or podcast, by the way. I got in the habit of saying video when I was making more YouTube episodes. In today's episode, I want to talk about the future of auto insurance and the insurance agent. Why do I bring this up? Well, I constantly hear people talking about what's going on in auto insurance, how things are becoming more difficult due to pricing, due to rates, due to underwriting, due to all kinds of factors. Some are very unexpected. Some are natural trends in pricing, things like that. There's always that classic line about pricing. Hey, remember when a bumper only cost $300 to fix? Well, today it costs $3,000. And that's something I still hear people saying today when they're trying to explain rate increases. But I see the problem is much more than just the rates and having to explain that to your current customers. There are bigger issues going on in the world of auto insurance, and it really would make me, if I was starting my own agency today, or if I was in a situation where I had to make some life decisions about the future of my business, it would make me think about it. So let's talk about some of those issues. So obviously, as I mentioned, there is pricing, rates, things of that nature, underwriting. Yes, you have to deal with those things. But those can be short-term issues. For example, once someone realizes that their friend, as they may say, is not getting a better rate, which is a common thing that I've heard people say, they start to realize, well, the market has changed, things have changed. Okay, well, that's one factor. So that can level off, so to speak. But there are other things going on in the world of auto insurance, in the world of automobiles in general, in society, that are going to affect agents and people and how auto insurance is sold, what people demand, what's available, what they want. There are a lot of factors here. So let's dive in. Number one, I think, is going to be autonomous vehicles or self-driving cars. That is going to cause a shift. Now, is that going to happen today? Not necessarily. Does it exist already? Somewhat, yes. Could it come faster than you expect? Yes. Because I hear people say things like, that's not going to happen for 50 years, and I'll be out of insurance. Okay, maybe, but things seem to grow faster, and they accelerate quicker in the technology field. So as technology continues to get better, it will get exponentially better, right? So with self-driving cars or autonomous vehicles, where is the responsibility for something like collision coverage? Well, if the manufacturer is the one driving the car, it could fall on them. What does that mean for you? That means you're not selling collision coverage, right? You might not be selling liability coverage. You might only have something like a comprehensive type of coverage or uninsured motorist or things of that nature. I don't know. These are just things I'm posturing on. But will this affect you is the question. To me, the answer is yes. Now, you've already got some companies selling their own insurance with their cars. Keep that in mind, too. They have a product you don't have. It might be a carrier that you represent, but you might not have that product. So that's where I'm going to dive into the second item here that I think is a big factor, and that is embedded insurance. If you have not heard this term embedded insurance, it's time to wake up, okay? One place you see embedded insurance is when you go to purchase something on an online store, say like an Amazon.com, and they offer you insurance immediately for a product you're buying. Now, I understand that's not a car, I understand, but they're offering you something right there at the time of purchase during the interaction. You can buy insurance on a laptop, for example, or I think I ordered a USB cable and they were offering me insurance on it. So, what does that tell you? this is an issue. I don't know how many of you listening to this podcast that are independent insurance agents or even captive agents or hybrid agents. I know there are many different setups out there. How many of you have the technology, will have the technology, or can even, compete in this situation? Do you desire to have that level of technology? I don't know. Is that something you're going to be able to bring to the table? That is a question. Now, it doesn't mean that the embedded insurance can't be represented by an agency if you bring in the customer, right? But are you that person? Are you going to do that? Are you going to do the work it takes? Will you invest the money it takes? Do you have a carrier that will provide you the technology? These are things that I frequently consider. So embedded insurance, for example, could be something like when you purchase a Tesla. They have some sort of auto insurance they offer you. I have not done a deep dive into their insurance. I do not know that much about the auto insurance. I simply know that multiple people have told me that when they got their Tesla, they would get a quote from them. Also, a quick Google search will show you that they have an insurance product. That's just one company. There logically are other companies out there also trying to sell insurance. Now, that's in the car insurance world, that seems quite easy if someone's purchasing a vehicle from a dealer. They could make an offer in real time. And as technology gets better, they'll be able to instantly offer perhaps multiple quotes that can be purchased at the dealership at the time of purchase. Now, someone might say to me a response or rebuttal like, well, the auto dealer is going to need to have their own insurance license. Oh, okay. So they'll get someone to get an insurance license. They'll form an agency, whatever the rules are. They have more money than you, generally speaking, right? I'm obviously speaking in generalities. I know some of you are doing very well and have incredible agencies that are very impressive, and you should be proud of that. But realistically, people who are backed by huge auto companies might have options. I'm sure that auto dealers are potentially worried about the future as well and how they're going to distribute their product. These are things they have to consider also. The number 3 item on the list I want to bring up is DTC, or direct to consumer. I saw an article that said approximately 2/3 of personal lines insurance is sold direct to consumer, meaning they can purchase it on a web page, they can purchase it direct from the company. They're not using an agent. Now, in some cases, perhaps they're using some sort of captive agent, but I would think the most likely scenario is that they are either calling a call center or using a web page to purchase insurance. So where is your role in this? Well, there is opportunity here. If you are able to have a call center model or a centralized model, or able to have people purchase online, and you are able to do the marketing to make your agency that type of place, and I have seen this before, where I'll see marketing from agencies that make them look so big, and they might be big, by the way, I don't know, but they make them look so big that you would think this is practically an insurance carrier, but in the end, they're out there shopping it for you. Now, I'm going to address something in an upcoming episode about insurance carriers also running agencies, by the way. That's right. Make sure you listen to what I just said. They have independent agencies as well. And you can do the reverse in some ways. Obviously, you can't say you're a carrier. That would be completely unreasonable. You need to follow all the rules. And I don't know why you would. But what you can do is you can give yourself a presence. I'm sure some of you have call centers with 50 to 100 people in them. Those are quite big businesses as compared to the local mom and pop or family run insurance agencies. So with this in mind, there is opportunity here, but I feel that there will be a need for technology. I think that you will have a need to display a rate or do something for the consumer where they feel that they are able to use an online service, and you might need to deliver customer service online as well. Is that possible with all carriers? Not to the best of my knowledge. Some carriers certainly require you to do a lot of manual work, and that is very frustrating. Okay, number 4, let's just talk about something really quickly. Telematics. You've got things of that nature like telematics and UBI, or usage-based insurance. Yes, those letters UBI have other meanings in other fields, but usage-based insurance, where you see carriers selling products that people pay per mile or pay based on how far they drive or things of that nature. Okay, again, when I have seen those products, I see the carriers selling those direct to consumer. I don't see agents talking about them. I understand some of you rate with mileage and other factors, but I have seen products where a consumer can go on the internet or call a number and purchase a product that is different than the ones that many agents have available. This is, again, going to be something competitive, especially in a world where people are potentially being told to drive less, or people who live in certain areas where they're coming out with more public transportation or whatever it is. These are things that, again, I find concerning. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I don't think every agent's going to just stop selling auto insurance. I know a lot of you make good money from it, and a lot of your renewals come from it, although times have been challenging, and now you're not having direct bill renewals so easily, not an automatic renewal. You're having to deal with underwriting issues and related things that are causing you to have to reshop or at least provide additional service for the customer that you never had to service before. So what I see for the future of auto insurance is I believe that many of the auto insurance and personal lines in general, focused independent agencies and other agencies will be consolidated. And you will see big companies or big mega agencies buying up the small ones. That doesn't mean your agency goes out of business. You might actually get a lot of money out of it. You might get to retire. You might get to keep working there. It just depends on your setup. But I do think that we're going to see more and more consolidation. I did hear someone at a captive agency tell me that he felt that there was pressure on him to sell to mega agencies that had something like 10 million or more in premium in his captive area. And he was feeling pressured to sell because they don't want to support the smaller agencies anymore from the headquarters. That was interesting. And I can see that some small agencies will be fine. I generally think that rural agencies, or when you're the go-to person in town for insurance, or those who live in a small town, I think that's a very different experience. But that's not what I see for the future of most people. Aside from that, if it were me and I was starting my agency today, I would not have a focus on auto insurance. I understand it's something necessary some of you have to sell. That doesn't mean I wouldn't sell it. I'm just saying that I wouldn't focus on it for a variety of reasons, such as planning for the future. If I had another 20, 30, 40, 50 years left in this business, well, I would be focusing on things that are harder to place. Now, I know not all of you enjoy hard-to-place insurance. I understand. It's more paperwork intensive. There are other factors. There's underwriting. But there is money in inefficiencies. If someone can do it online, what do they need you for? The common rebuttal I hear is, well, people value the information from someone experienced or licensed, or sometimes people will use the word expert, or they want to talk to a professional because of a decision they're making. But remember, not everyone thinks like you do, and there are people younger than us that have a very different view on how to purchase things. I enjoy talking to a professional and getting some of their advice. I like it. I like to hear what they have to say. But not everyone feels that way. So with this in mind, start planning for your future. Is auto insurance your future? It's hard for me to think that most agencies will be able to support themselves over the coming years with auto insurance, as it's becoming easier and easier for people to simply leave you on a whim. And remember loyalty? Some of you probably never heard this word before, but there was a time in our lives when there was customer loyalty. I don't see that as much anymore, even if you provide them extreme service. Some of you are fortunate, and I have loyal customers in my life as well. But overall, what I see today is very different than what I saw in the past. All right, I would love to get your opinions on this. So please go over to planetoftheagents.com. Make sure to send me an email. Let me know what you would like me to talk about in future shows. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter. I don't send a ton of newsletters, but I try to send ones that have value. So again, that's planetoftheagents.com. You can contact me there and sign up for the newsletter. All right, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you click the little plus button, the heart button, the thumbs up, whatever it is on your platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts or YouTube or Spotify, wherever you are listening. I really appreciate you listening to the show. Cannot wait to hear from all of you, and I have another episode coming out very soon, so you will get it when you are subscribed. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Planet of the Agents. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Planet of the Agents. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And head over to our website at planetoftheagents.com to sign up for our newsletter and get even more information on how to grow your insurance agency. Thanks for listening to Planet of the Agents. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And head over to our website at planetoftheagents.com to sign up for our newsletter and get even more information on how to grow your insurance agency.